Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett, yeah.
When I started in business when I was 18, 19, 20, I thought the game was if I work Saturday and Sunday really, really, really hard and I have the fortune of a couple of good ideas, I will be successful.
What?
Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett, yeah. There's been a few clips flying about lately, and it's because of one of the most recent podcasts he's done. I don't watch his stuff because I watched it before and I thought, this is weird, man. But listen to this TikTok.
Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett, has always been part of the alt-right pipeline. He's always been a grifter.
Grifter.
I don't really understand where that confusion comes from, and I'm actually quite shocked that so many people watch him. I don't get it. I just don't think he has any intellectual takes. I don't think he's interesting, and I think he platforms all the wrong people.
I thought that for a very long time, innit? Because you come across his content, yeah? And it seems like a lot of the time it's a narrative to push about how him or his friends feel about what's going on in society, when I don't feel that they give a fuck about society or anybody in it. It's about the narratives, and this is what CEOs think about other people, and other people should do this, and because of their background or because they went to a really good university, they got a degree, they make some money, they know what's good for society. And it's just weird, you know, bottom line, because I get it. A lot of the time when you're talking on YouTube, to keep things interesting, people create narratives and tell you about pockets of life which you possibly didn't know about. You possibly didn't know there was a group of people that thought, oh, we need to reproduce, and our reproducing thing ain't gonna happen because, you know, we feel A and another person feels B, and B means this, if you didn't know. Really? That's all I've got to say is the word really. And I think you will catch it for yourself, which is the surprising part when he goes, what do you mean by that? Could you explain a little bit more? No one needs to explain a little bit more. It's dumb. It sounds dumb. So if it sounds dumb, it is dumb. There's no other way of trying to clear it up. And I've always wanted to make a video on it, yeah? But I wanted some people to start before I did, because I didn't want to seem like I was coming from a place of dislike or hate. I don't know him, innit? I'll probably never get to meet him, and obviously maybe from this video they might take it and be like, oh, you don't like him. It's just not my cup of tea at the end of the day. I've realised that some people, when they have money, power behind them, yeah, they use that in the wrong way, which is to make other people say, look at me, I live a great life. And the reason why I live a great life is because I'm socially woke. I'm socially know what's going on. I'm in with the crowds. Let's just look at that person for who they are and what they do, right? So by saying that you've got the biggest podcast because you pump your own money into it, and you've got this person that sponsors it and that person that sponsors it, you're part of all of these companies, innit? So that doesn't make any sense, you know? I'm not stupid, I wasn't born yesterday, but I guess that a lot of people want to be on the same level as others, so they strive to be able to copy their footprint, yeah? But I don't think the footprints are actually theirs. They say stuff without no solid foundation of information. The people who come on the platform are very questionable, because prior to them coming on there, I had never seen them on nothing else before. It's true. There's only one or two people that I've seen on other things before, and when you really check out their backstory, the way they view stuff and view other people, I think there was a guy called Gary who came on there before, right? And he was talking about economic structure and stuff like that. And it was it seemed like an interesting conversation from the outside, and wanting to go on like they were normal people. You're not. You're all millionaires talking about people who have less money than you. I mean, you couldn't put yourself in those shoes, neither say to yourself that you're willing to help, because what do? Zero. But talk. Talking only sometimes incites people. It's like rage beige, but for the upper class people, and they do it in a way which structures a conversation, which makes you think, oh, I'm not doing this and I need to do this. It's like a scare tactic. And even when that lady said that comment about Stephen being a part of the grifters, yeah, I didn't even know what that was, I'll be honest. When I put it in ChatGPT, told you grifter is just like a scammer. Again, we've got a lot of corporate words which people like to change for other things because they look nicer on paper and they don't make you sound like a thug or someone who has no level of intellect. So it's confusing the youth, it's confusing the people that get a matcha in the morning, it's confusing the zip tie, quarter zip community. That was my first mess up there. The quarter zip community, because you're trying to understand it from a logical place, and logically it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense why you would try to push a narrative what you believe without any facts. I get it, there's a lot of people nowadays who see things for face value and say, oh, okay, I agree with that, I understand what that person means. I don't see a lot of people doing that, you know, and I do feel that Stephen's time is running out on YouTube and running out on CEO Diary, because even myself, I was trying to think, is it his diary as a CEO you would want to speak to these people and you'd have general meetings with these people to discuss life, what you feel is going on for you? Because I don't feel that goes on for everyone else, because the most recent one was about relationships and men who are not going to be able to pass on their genes to someone else because, I don't know, maybe they're not compatible. To be honest, I stopped watching it a long time ago. I used to date someone who used to watch it, and she was like to me, check this out, you know, this guy, da-da-da-da. I watched like 15 minutes. I'm not interested. Not interested. Just because I can see it's a narrative what someone's trying to create, and they structure it quite well to someone who has just come across it and thought, oh, this guy's interesting. It was like the time he was on Dragon's Den, and there was this sports massaging machine. I don't know if you guys have seen it. And basically it's just a ball and it's on top of a gun and it pushes back and forward. And he said that wouldn't work. It's been a big success. And the person put them straight away. He said, Stephen, it's not for people like you. And that way, people saw that you're like a certain way. You was willing to cut that idea down when that idea is big time. So we've got so many different types of individuals who push narratives, especially on younger men who are very impressionable, who actually need guidance at a lot of the time in their life when they feel they're turning over a new chapter or earning a certain amount of money and moving into the elite classes of life and you know, out and about. And it's like a way how they can preserve themselves through getting information online about two people speaking. It always fathoms me, but you know what? I think it's always good content to talk about for context, because we're going to get loads of these types of individuals out there now today. It's just if you agree with the narrative, because the narrative is from a place where like there's a proportion of people who think like that. The majority of people do not. I don't think, personally. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but that's how I feel. And it's not like I dislike him. I don't know him, again, I've said that to you before, but I do know a narrative when I see one. And I see a lot of narratives from him, whether it be something different every single week. How people should feel, how men feel. You cannot speak for the majority of men. Doesn't make any sense. And at the same time, I know that people with big, huge platforms like that, what do they do for others? The word is fuck all. But people look at them and say, oh, they're this great person because they got this business and they've made X, Y, and Z. Making money in life doesn't make you a good person, you know? Making money sometimes in life today stops you being compassionate for others and brings a false narrative around you, which is everybody should do what I've done. That's the reason why I'm successful. I feel that's quite a lot of the message. And people do sit down and they listen to people who are successful. But it's a thin line. The line's so thin because you have to understand what that person had to do to get to that point. Whether they fabricate bits of their lives or they inflate certain things. You know, like you kept on seeing sponsorships in between and stuff like that. And that's what people do on YouTube. I understand that. You got to get a sponsor behind it. But if it's all your companies, how does it make sense? Do you get it? So for me, CEO diary is always going to be a no. Because if I was a CEO and I got time to relax, I'm trying to uplift people. I'm not trying to hit them with scare tactics to make them realise that your life isn't going in the right trajectory. You need to do the things I do because history can never be repeated twice. And that's all I've got to say on that. I just really wanted to make a video on it because I've seen so many TikTokers, I've seen so many people make content, and I thought, why has no one made a video? Maybe because they thought they might get a little bit of backlash. I don't know, I'm not really sure. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I just care about what I see and knowing that the narrative, what people push, is more to do with people's own agendas than to do with the greater good of other people. But what I would like to know is what you think in the comment section, because I'm kind of sick of seeing that, when the other person gives the answer, this is some role play here, when the other person gives the answer, oh, what do you mean by that? Could you explain what you mean? Like, it's just silly. We don't want to see it. It's 2026, man. Like, share and subscribe. I do like to talk about issues which we do have in life, and I feel that that is one of the issues at the moment, which is people pushing false narratives, making people think that they need to be doing something. Do you get it? I'm out.